Hey, Frontline fans, welcome back to Comics Frontline and Fans. You're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to do that all-important comic book review so you, the fans, can make a decision what comic books to buy. And today, guys, we're talking about The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 11. That's right, guys. Finally, the conclusion to the Scorpio game. That's right, guys. Finally. Took 11 issues to tell this story. Well, really 9 because there was a filler story in there somewhere. The writer is Dan Slott. The artwork is done by Giuseppe Comicoli. And Giuseppe Comicoli, and actually the colorist in this book, which is Marty Garcia, does really well on this actual book. We get this pinup page on here with Spider-Man and Mockingbird flying through the sky. There's just great visuals when you're reading this book. Scorpio looks like this menacing threat that's going to destroy Spider-Man with his Zodiac key. There's just lightning and thunder and just all kinds of crazy stuff going on in this issue that has your eyes just going, whoa, man! There's some insane stuff and cool battle scenes in this issue as well. So, how was this long, drawn-out conclusion to this whole Scorpio rising thing? Well, in this issue, we find out that obviously Nick Fury is trying to get in contact with everybody but can't, because him and Spider-Man actually wound up disabling the satellites. And as the issue winds up progressing, we wind up seeing that Zodiac and his crew, or Scorpio and his crew, are really close to the end game here, and they're like, oh, everything is aligning, you know, we see the stars, and it's like, we are Zodiac, we are the future. And they finally find this location where they need to go to unlock this secret place, or what the key does, or whatever it is. And I have a feeling when Dan Slott wrote this thing, he was like really well into all the whole signs and the Zodiac and all those future telling stuff, you know, because I was like, you gotta be pretty into all that stuff to create this story. But anyway, they wind up finding out the location of where Zodiac actually is, and Spider-Man, of course, winds up doing battle against him. Nick Fury winds up coming up with this Morse code to find Scorpio. So that's how Bobby and Spidey wound up finding him. Again, Nick Fury created this Morse code, and they found his location, and they start doing the climatic battle that you would see in a story arc or in a movie. And it looks like that because of all the power that this Scorpio key has, it kind of destroyed everybody. Everyone was on the ground. Spider-Man, Bobby, all the Scorpio's crew, everyone. And he finds this hidden location. And after years and years and years, finally Scorpio is at the pinnacle of his powers. And he found this place of where he has to go. His grandfather's been searching this. His father's been searching this. Now he's searching for this. And Spider-Man's doing all he can to actually stop Scorpio. And so by the time we wind up getting towards the end of this issue, we see that Spider-Man steals the key from him, and he winds up going and finding out there's this big door. And the key, well, it unlocks this big door. And so, you know, when you're reading this, you feel a lot of suspense. You're like, oh, what's behind that door? I want to find out what's behind this door. I mean, shit, I've been reading this book for freaking 11 issues now. I need to find out what's behind that door. So you're waiting the whole entire time. And Spider-Man continues to do battle, and Spidey's doing battle against Scorpio, and he's fighting and knocking and kicking his ass. And the next thing you wind up seeing is that Scorpio winds up seeing what's behind the door, and he's getting everything into his brain. He's like, I see the whole year's future at one time. And I'm like, really? That's this power? I mean, you only get to see 1 year of the future? And he starts naming off things. He's like, Regent, heroes at each other's throats, Norman Osborn. Oh, so that's where you've been hiding. Monsters on the rise. Oh, Otto Octavius. He's like, well, that explains everything. So it's giving you tidbits of things of what's to come in the comic. It's like a teaser. And the next thing you see is like Spidey's like, well, see this, you sucker. And he pushes him into the freaking building. And the next thing he does is he just locks him up into this building. And now he's stuck there 1 year into the future. And so, like, Bobby and Spidey are like, yeah, we'll deal with it 1 year from now. And then the last panel, probably the best panel of them all, is you have the Brain, and you see that Dr. Octopus is in there, and he sits there and he goes, I cannot wait any longer. I must accelerate my plans. The time has come for Otto Octavius to make his superior return. And then that's how the issue actually ends. And so I was like, shit, I waited all this time. I read 11 issues of this with some 2 issues of crappy Mr. Negative story just to find out that Scorpio saw into the future for 1 year and kind of teased us of what's to happen in the year to come for Spider-Man. That's it. I was like, God damn. I felt like I got ripped off at the end of this book. But nevertheless, I mean, it was entertaining. It did keep you suspenseful, but the ending was like a cop-out, man. We already know what's coming because they've been teasing us the whole time with Dead No More. Octavius has been teasing us the whole time. So it's kind of like, shit. I just felt like it was a little bit of a cop-out. I'm like, looking at the end, I'm like, what's behind the door? What's going to happen? And now Scorpio's just locked in there forever. So I was like, God, I was just let down. I was entertained. The artwork was great. It just was just a letdown and a cop-out. So I'm not sure what to grade this book. I think I'm going to give it like a 3.5. It was entertaining. It finally concludes this story, and we'll finally get to go to move on. And I want to see what happens with Dr. Octopus. And hopefully the story progresses now with The Amazing Spider-Man, because this has been too long. So, yeah, there you have it. 3.5 out of 5 stars. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. Leave me in the comments below what you thought of this particular story, what you thought of the ending. And fans, as always, thank you for watching Comic Frontline. Don't forget to check out all the other Frontliners reviews on here, hauls, and all the other material. And fans, until that next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. And thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.